I've had some pretty good luck in the discount bins lately. I want to talk about that and show you what I got, plus open the mail and tons more. Alright, 33ers, how the heck you doing? I got a quick question for you. I've had a couple comments from people telling me they hate the jingle to the Friday Night Vinyl episodes, that little song you just heard. So I'm debating, should I keep that jingle or should I kill that jingle? Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Channel 33 RPM.
All right, I want to talk about vinyl deals and discount bins and clearance bins because I got a couple of cool records lately that I want to show you. And I got these at a store, at a bookstore, a large independent bookstore here called McNally Robinson. And in addition to selling books, they also have a pretty decent record section. And most importantly, they also have a couple bins all the time of discount or clearance records. And every time I'm in the store, which is not often, maybe like once a month or so, every time I'm there, I flip through the discount records to see what I can find. And surprisingly, I often enough find some pretty decent records in there. And I probably shouldn't give my secrets away because anyone watching this video locally is going to start searching through those discount bins as well. But I do find some okay stuff there once in a while. So I want to show you a couple of records I just picked up. I grabbed this one last weekend. This is the 1984 release from Slade called Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply. I've always loved that name for a record, Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply. And these are new records. They're brand new and they were sealed. And you can see on the price tag right there, I grabbed this one for $19.99, $20 in the discount bin, Canadian. So that's equal to about $13 US. Which is a pretty good price, 20 bucks. To put that in perspective, around here nowadays, a brand new album or a brand new reissue single LP is going for like around 40 bucks. So it's about 50% of what you would normally expect to pay. Hype sticker says, keep your hands off my power supply, previously unreleased outside the USA, includes the smash hits Run, Runaway, and My Oh My. That is partially incorrect. This album was originally available in the USA in Canada, and I actually didn't realize this. It's a repackaging of an album that was available in other parts of the world, and in other parts of the world it was called The Amazing Kamikaze Syndrome. And I guess there was a big push in like 83 and 84 by CBS Records to kind of get Slade out there because they were capitalizing on the success of Quiet Riot, which had the band, Quiet Riot, the band, had just covered the Slade song, Come On Feel the Noise, and had a really big hit with it. So I'd never actually heard this entire album, so it was an educated blind buy because the two singles I knew and I loved, and I have loved them since I was a kid, that being Run, Runaway, and My Oh My. In fact, when I was a kid, I had a VHS tape called Prime Cuts Heavy Metal, and it had videos from Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne, Fastway, and Slade, of course. I gotta say, I love the first two singles. The rest of the album, I think is just okay. Maybe it has to grow on me, but the rest of the album is very different than those first two singles, Run, Runaway, and My Oh My. And I was like, why are they so different? So if you read the credits, those two tracks, the singles, are produced and engineered by different people than the rest of the album. So that would explain it. Again, this was a single LP. There were no liner notes or credits, and it came on red wax. The other album I picked up, I'm not sure how well known this artist is. His name is Gabor Szabo. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I actually have an early pressing of this album as well, which I'd found in a dollar bin way back, and it's kind of scuffed up and it had seen better days. So I was looking for a modern day reissue, and I found this one. The album is called The Sorcerer, and Gabor was a Hungarian jazz guitarist. This is recorded live in Boston in 1967. And for this one, I paid $25 Canadian, which was equal to about $18 US, which is a pretty good deal. This was, I believe, pressed at First Man Records in Detroit, or Detroit. Really nice pressing. Comes with the gatefold. Kind of like mellow, pretty melodic jazz. Guitar jazz. It's a 5-piece band on here. 2 guitarists, percussion, drums, and bass. Really good album. I was happy to grab it. And nice heavyweight vinyl, black vinyl. Sounds really good. If you're into that kind of stuff, mellow, not mellow, mellow's not the right word, but chill jazz, melodic jazz, 5-piece guitar. This is a good album to pick up. In terms of the artist, Gabor, he had a really interesting story and really interesting life. He came to America at a young age. I think he was like 20 or something like that. He went to Berkeley for music, and he eventually got involved with the Church of Scientology. Things went sideways. There were lawsuits. He accused them of misappropriating his money and mismanaging his career. Then he became a heroin addict in the late 70s and kind of spiraled from there. He died, sadly, in 1982. He was pretty young, his mid to late 40s, and he died from liver and kidney disease related to his drug use. But luckily his memory lives on awesome albums like this, The Sorcerer. I also want to show you this. This is not a recent pickup at all, but this is a compilation of all the songs that legendary bluesman Robert Johnson ever recorded. And of course, the legend with Robert Johnson is that whenever it was, in the 1930s or 40s, maybe it was the 40s, he went down to the crossroads and made a deal with the devil. In exchange for his soul, he became a legendary bluesman, and he recorded in his whole life 29 songs, and they are all there's various compilations of them, but they are not hard to find. But here is one of those compilations. And the reason I pulled this album out, which I'd actually hadn't heard for the longest time, is that I showed the movie Crossroads to my youngest daughter. Crossroads is a movie I loved growing up. It stars, believe it or not, Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid. It was a story about him kind of exploring the legend of Robert Johnson and tracking down one of Robert Johnson's buddies, and sort of this adventure that they go on. In the end, Ralph Macchio has a duel with Steve Vai, and Steve Vai is a representative of the devil or whatever. He's a bad guy, and they have a duel to determine if this friend of Ralph Macchio's can get his soul back. So Steve Vai is awesome in that movie, and I watched it a million times as a kid. Anyway, inspired me to pull out this Robert Johnson record, which is always interesting to listen. I'm a fan of the history of music, and blues music is such a big part of rock and roll and hard rock and everything that I know and love today. So I think it's an important record to have in my collection. And if you are a fan of the history of modern rock music or blues music or any of that stuff, Robert Johnson is definitely worth checking out. And if you're looking for, it's not the best movie of all time, but I found it entertaining and I really like it, but maybe it's nostalgia speaking, I don't know, but the movie Crossroads is also worth checking out. All right, let's open the mail. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy from Kentucky, viewer Darren, who I owe a lot to because he got me into this artist called Tuck Smith. And he has sent me a Tuck Smith album, and I went down this rabbit hole. And just now he's sang me the single of this Tuck Smith song, Tuck Smith and the Restless Hearts. The track, well, this is a 7-inch single, obviously. And this is for the song Everyone Loves You When You're Dead. And it's backed with Ain't for the Faint. 2 fantastic songs. Tuck Smith, man, if the universe was fair, this guy would be huge. It is raw rock and roll / hard rock. It's real swagger. It's also got a heavy dose of power pop in it. You can definitely hear a Cheap Trick influence. But it's got a real punk rock DIY aesthetic. Is that the right word? Or attitude. Anyway, thank you, Darren, for sending me the 7-inch single. I'm a huge fan of Tuck Smith. And Darren also sent me this Tuck Smith t-shirt, which I'm going to wear proudly. Look at that, man. Pure rock and roll. I'm telling you, there are many of you who consistently tell me that there's no good music being made anymore, but there's tons. You just have to know where to look. And Tuck Smith is one of those guys. He was originally slated to open up on the Stadium tour, which Def Leppard and Motley Crue did several years back, and there were issues and whatever. And it never happened. But Tuck Smith is still doing it, man. Real, authentic rock and roll with attitude. I can't say enough good stuff about Tuck. So Darren, thank you very much for introducing me to Tuck last year, I believe. And thank you for sending me these latest Tuck Smith products. I absolutely dig it, man. Cheers. All right, 33ers, have you got any good deals on vinyl lately? Let me know. Thank you for watching this video. Check out this other episode on the screen. I'll see you there in a moment. Until then, keep on spinning.